His body is a lethal weapon. The Sonic Blast Man is highly skilled in all forms of physical combat. With his dynamite punches, flip kicks, judo throws, and other fighting techniques, he uses his body to thrash enemies. As he travels around Earth and on a space station, he will be challenged by hundreds of human, robot, and alien foes. The Blast Man faces adventures that will push him to the limits of his skill and beyond. This is Sonic Blast Man, developed by ITL, published by Taito, released in 1993, part of the Sonic Blast Man franchise. It's a beat 'em up, and I really kind of like this game. This is a game I feel like really kind of hits that mark with, we know how goofy it is. We're going to play to that, but we're not going to overplay that. It really, really just kind of feels like a comic book that was just made into a game. It's really interesting. The arcade version, by the way, this is a fun thing. You wore boxing gloves, and there was a pad that you actually had to punch to do damage to some of the enemies in like timed attacks kind of thing, which is kind of fun. I guess, I don't know. Seems like a gimmick, but it probably worked. We're not going to talk about the arcade version, even though we just did. We're going to talk about the Super NES version. Just plain old beat 'em up. We have to save the world from diverse evil forces, because evil should be diverse, like street gangs, terrorists, aliens, robots, and an evil clone who goes under the name Dark Sonic Blast Man. You start on a construction site and end up in space. It's one player only, which is kind of a bummer. We defeat enemies on the screen. We have to continue the stage. We can jump, punch, grab, throw, all that kind of stuff. Special attacks that knocks enemies nearby, but it does dizzy you temporarily. Another particular feature is the way that he holds his enemies. When he approaches an enemy, he's able to grab them in order to shake them and throw them back, or punch them, or uppercut, or do a bunch of other things. If he punches them repeatedly, like a combo, you will eventually just hold them anyway, so you can blast them with a sonic wave, use a whirlwind punch, or throw them backwards. All of these throwing effects depend on the direction the D-pad is being pressed when pressing the punch button. His most powerful attack is his D-punch, which must be charged with a certain button, then can be discharged. The D-punch is limited. That's kind of your Mega Crush. Bonus levels are an adaptation of the arcade version. The major difference is there's no punch pad, so you must charge strength by repeatedly rotating the D-pad. I did not know that. Like most of the beat-em-ups of the area, the Japanese version had female enemies, dominatrixes, apparently, which were replaced by male ones in the American and European versions, mostly because of the strict censorship issues at the time. Only the first two stages have human enemies. Both versions, the arcade and the Super Nintendo, did receive a sequel. The arcade sequel, entitled SBM Real Puncher, is similar to the original but with new levels. A photo camera mode for faces for people in each level of the game was released in Japan and Europe. The SNES sequel, Sonic Blast Man 2, plays just like a beat 'em up, but does offer two new characters and options, the characters being Sonya and Captain Choyear, two-player mode, and other stuff. It has made Sonic Blast Man has made a few other game appearances in Puzzle Bobble 3, King of Fighters Maximum Impact Regulation A, and in addition, Sonya appears in other game beat-em-ups like... Sonya also appears in the other game beat-em-up, Is Nothing and Nothing Less Than Ninon Bart Adventure, as a hidden character and as a sub-boss of Stage 4 before the evil boss who watches the moon through the window. Wow, that needs an edit. There is another sequel coming out, Sonic Blast Heroes, at AOU in 2011, and was planned to hit arcades, but doesn't seem to have really gone very far. It was called Real Puncher 2, at least in Europe. This is not a great article. I like Sonic Blast Man. I think it's a fun game. I think it's worth playing. It does move really slow for a beat 'em up, but just that the game, I feel like, again, doesn't take itself really seriously. You know, I can get behind that.